Hey guys, Trip here, and you're probably wondering what you're looking at right now. Well, first of all, this is the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, along with the mod I've been using called Tamriel Rebuilt. I actually believe it's one of the longest running and most all-encompassing largest mods for a video game ever created. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, just take a look at this bullshit if you get a moment. But that's not the reason you're probably wondering what you're looking at right now. You're probably wondering about the title of this video, and oh boy, do I have quite a bit to say about this, I think. And yeah, let's just dive right in. As you can probably tell, I don't have a script in front of me. This is just me talking off the cuff, so as usual, when I do something stupid like that, the episode will either be very short or very long. So that's why when I say what the fuck? Oh, I thought that was a glitch for a second. That's when I say I think I have a lot to say about this. I'm actually not sure. But without further ado, let's just cut the bullshit. I'm done talking about Bethesda and the Elder Scrolls for the foreseeable future. At the very least, I am done criticizing it. It's gotten to a point where I've said all I can say, if that makes sense. There's only so many different ways I can say I don't think Skyrim is a good game. There's only so many ways I can say I think Bethesda is going in the wrong direction. And to kind of cut my little cheeky comedy shtick here for a minute, I'm pretty serious about this. Like, I know a lot of you guys really like the videos I do. I know a lot of you guys really love this channel, and I know a lot of you guys really have come to associate this channel with the Elder Scrolls. I mean, one of my recent subscribers, I was talking to her on Twitter, she actually mentioned that she knows me as the guy who calls Bethesda out on its bullshit. And on one hand, I was flattered by that. I'm always flattered when you guys talk to me because I don't feel like I deserve any of the praise you guys give me. I'll talk about that as well later on. But I'm always very thankful when you guys talk to me and engage with me. I love you guys. I love talking to you guys. So this person who is a recent subscriber that's how she knows me, as the guy who calls Bethesda out on its bullshit. And on one hand, I'm super, super flattered that I have that reputation, I guess, or any reputation in the YouTubing community. But at the same time, that's not the only thing this channel is about. I pitched this channel going on 2 years now ago as a forum for all things fun and nerdy. I want this to be a place for us to talk about video games, talk about all the fun world-building, role-playing games, all that stuff that, I mean, you guys come here to see, and the Elder Scrolls is just a part of it. Honestly, the reason why I talk about Bethesda and the Elder Scrolls so much is, like I said in my last video on the subject, I believe you need to criticize the things that you love. And I'm just getting to a point where I'm kind of falling out of love with Bethesda and the Elder Scrolls and Fallout as a whole. I'm reaching a point where, how do I put it? I love the Elder Scrolls when it was this. This is what I love. I love this interpretation of Tamriel. And I've said this a million times. This was not just Morrowind. This was the entire world at some point. Granted, it was all different, it was all cult. It didn't literally look like this, but every part of Tamriel, for some very brief, and this is the key point here, for a very brief time in the Elder Scrolls universe, was this. It was all weird, it was all unique and different in its own way. It all had these bizarre cultural differences that made the world feel unique and bizarre and alien and so detached from reality, but at the same time it was bound by the same basic religious and political and socioeconomic conflicts that still make it relatable. That's why I'm into fantasy. I want to see somebody create some crazy ass bullshit like this with flying ass jellyfish, walking ticks, mosquito dogs. That's the type of shit I like. I want to see you make a world like that, and I want to see you make me believe it. I want to see you make me empathize for the people who exist within this world, within these worlds. Look at this dude right here. I want to feel like this is a person. Granted, Morrowind doesn't do that very well, but a lot of people say I praise Morrowind too much. I'm perfectly willing to criticize Morrowind's problems, but the world building alone is enough to sell me on this being a real person. Even if he has this whole, encyclopedia dialogue that, doesn't really sound like a real person talking, the world around it sells it for me. That's why I love fantasy. I say this a million times on this channel, and the quote I'm about to say that I say a lot on this channel that a lot of people think is my motto, I didn't make it up. This is Bethesda. This is what they said in their Oblivion manual, the first Elder Scrolls game I ever played. And I read the manual as a kid, and I saw the phrase, live a life in a virtual world. That's why I play video games. That's why, especially why I play open world RPGs. That's why I made this channel, among other things, because I also like to talk about movies sometimes. I like to talk about other kinds of video games, and you're going to see that, me talk about some other kind of video games that aren't open world RPGs in the near future. But, yeah, one of the main reasons I am so, I'm stuck here, Jesus Christ. Okay, we're gonna cheat here. We're gonna get out of this, guys. We're gonna do this together. All right. Magic, bitch. Okay, so as I was saying, one of the main reasons I got into this, and the main reason I got so obsessed with video games in the first place, was because of that promise that I read in that book, God, like over 10 years ago now, that I read in that manual. Live a life in a virtual world. The Elder Scrolls doesn't do that for me anymore. They're not concerned with that anymore. And I know I said I'm done criticizing them and I'm doing it again, but just consider this a closing chapter for me in talking about Bethesda for the near future. It's not, the Elder Scrolls will never be what I want it to be. Look at this guy, for example. Hey, turn around. You see this right here? See what this guy's wearing? This glass armor? This shit looks pretty weird, doesn't it?
You'll get more than you bargained for from me.
Yeah, fuck you too. Well, the reason why I bring up something totally random like that is because it goes back to my entire philosophy on the Elder Scrolls and what it is and what it's about. That armor he's wearing has nothing to do with the Dark Elves. It's not Dark Elf armor. The newer games made it seem like that, and I'm going on a tangent here, but follow me. The newer games made it seem like that armor, that's what you associate with Dunmer. If you look at the Elder Scrolls Online, for example, or just, people on forums, they believe that that is, kind of, along with Bone Mold and Chitin, that's like the classic Dunmer armor. Glass armor has nothing to do with the Dunmer. If you actually look at the game files and even the dialogue files in Morrowind, there's actually a database with every dialogue line in Morrowind, and you really get a chance to see what the developers intended for this world at the time Morrowind released. Glass armor was high elf armor. That really weird, bizarrely designed glass that looks kind of like some kind of bug was wearing it. That was these guys. They invented that shit. Now, the reason I bring that up, and again, I know it's a tangent, but I'm not on script, so bear with me. The reason why I bring that up is because it goes back to the change that happened at Bethesda. By the time of Oblivion, all this weirdness, all this uniqueness was shrunk down and relegated to the province of Morrowind. Morrowind gets to be weird, and to a lesser extent, Valenwood. Morrowind and Valenwood get to be weird. Black Marsh ostensibly gets to be weird, but we don't get to see it at all, except for some little border regions in ESO. But primarily, it's Morrowind and Valenwood that get to be weird, and the rest of the world went back to the Arena and Daggerfall area of, I'm just going to say it, and it's going to piss off people, generic medieval fantasy. That is, the Elder Scrolls universe has gone back to generic medieval fantasy with the trappings of something more. Something that they keep in there, that they drip feed to us, to the quote-unquote hardcore fans, something that they drip feed to us to keep to string us along, to keep us making mods, making videos, making lore videos, talking about stuff that's way cooler than anything Todd Howard has made in his video game in years now. Let me just kill this guy. Oh, I forgot that was a touch spell. Yeah, sorry about the lag. I have a lot of programs open, and even though Morrowind is a... God, how old is this game? I don't even remember. It came out in 2002. This is actually a very heavily modded version, so if I have a lot of programs opened, it will slow down, specifically when I cast spells, which I'm used to, but I know it will annoy people when I post this on YouTube, so in advance, sorry. But as I was saying, that world doesn't exist anymore. And the last time I talked about this, a lot of people got mad at me. Now, a lot of people loved the video that I made on this topic, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's just how I am. It's how I work. I naturally listen to negative feedback more than positive feedback. I take it a bit, I don't want to say I take it a bit too seriously, but if there's 1,000 likes on my video, my first thought is, why did I get those 50 dislikes? And that was a component in this as well. I don't want to say it was the final straw for me not to talk about the Elder Scrolls anymore, but it definitely gave me a different perspective. Seeing people who kind of had a perspective that I disagree with, but I can't argue with, that I just talk about this shit too much. I have nothing more to say on the topic. How many different ways can I say the Elder Scrolls isn't what I want it to be anymore? I sound like an old man talking about this bygone era, and by God, I hate people like that. If you guys know anything about me personally, I really hate people who think that old things are better because they're old, and I hate ever coming across as being that sort of person. Like I said, I got into the Elder Scrolls with Oblivion, so it's not even nostalgia that makes me love this perception of the Elder Scrolls. I like to think that I like it because it's just unique and different, but you see, what I'm noticing is... Let me just... Oh, there's enemies nearby, I can't wait. I was gonna make it daytime so you guys could see better, but, what I've been noticing is... It's not... I guess you could say the average Elder Scrolls fan that's outside of the norm. It's not them that is crazy and... Come on, die, you stupid... Yeah. It's not them, it's me. They're not the crazy ones. What I mean by that is... This version of the Elder Scrolls is a footnote. It's nothing in the grand scheme of the Elder Scrolls. We had 2 games of this. One game nobody even played or remembered, Redguard, which is when this version of the Elder Scrolls began, and we have Morrowind. That's it. All the other games are the other type of the Elder Scrolls. This was an experiment. This was a test. This was a brief moment of manic schizophrenia in the midst of what was otherwise a series of good but relatively normal RPGs. That's how I feel at this point. That's how I feel. And I say that not to discourage people who like the Elder Scrolls that way. And I know that's going to sound like that, and I feel like a dick already for sounding like I'm being an elitist, and I can be an elitist. I know I can. I try to be self-aware about my bullshit. That's part of my bullshit. I can be a gaming elitist, and I try to check myself when I act like that. So if I sound like that right now, I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I'll try to get better with that. But what I'm trying to say in my own stupid, rambling, tipsy way is my version of the Elder Scrolls is not the real Elder Scrolls. Not anymore. It was an experiment. An experiment that ended in 2005, I believe, with the release of Oblivion. The real Elder Scrolls is Arena, Daggerfall, Battlespire, Oblivion, and Skyrim, and ESO. And I just don't like it. I just don't. I mean, you guys hear me talking about Numenera, for example. That's one of my most popular videos. That's what I like. I like crazy, off-the-wall, balls-out, science fantasy bullshit. that is consistent within its own universe, but makes no sense within our own scope of reality. I like shit that is so off the chain and crazy, but at the same time is able to connect with you on a deeper human level with its writing, with the way it portrays people and social situations, or just basic human or humanoid behavior. I like that sort of shit. And, like, I like this thing. This creepy, weird shovel mouth bug thing. I like that. I don't like fake Roman, generic medieval, no flavor, no cultural personality bullshit that was in Oblivion. I like Skyrim's world building a bit more, but you guys know it's the gameplay and the story that really killed Skyrim for me. Because, I mean, I'm about to praise Skyrim because I feel like I don't do that enough, and I do think it deserves it. I do think that it was a great step forward in world building. They moved past what Oblivion did, which I think was a travesty, even though Oblivion is the opposite situation for me. I love the gameplay. I love modding that. I play that game probably more than any other game I've ever played, but the world building was so abysmal and so afraid to express itself and be itself. And I feel like Skyrim kind of was creeping back toward that Morrowind flavor slowly but surely. But that's just a false hope. It's just a false hope at this point. By the way, something that you can't do in Oblivion and Skyrim. Fucking fly. But yeah, I don't know. I doubt a lot of you guys are still listening to this. I know I'm rambling. I know I sound like an idiot. I wanted to get that off my chest. Why I'm done talking about Bethesda for the time being. The only exception I can see is if they really fuck up. Oh, shit. Okay. I just fucked up. The only exception I can see is if they really fuck up, like with the Creation Club or some shit. I'm going to talk about that because I don't let shit like that go. I'm not going to ignore Bethesda is what I'm saying. But I have nothing more to say about them in the time being. And I just spent, I don't even know how long, 10 minutes maybe talking about them. So I clearly can talk about them until I die. But I don't think it's going to be entertaining for you guys. I don't feel like I can get much more. I am an idiot. You know what? Fuck it. We're flying the old-fashioned way. I don't feel like I can get much more mileage off of it. Now, I'm going to force myself to stop talking about this because I can't stop, as you can clearly tell. I'm going in circles right now, and again, I'm tipsy, so some of that you have to blame on the alcohol, but yeah, I'm going to stop myself talking about that and talk about some better stuff. I just wanted to get that off my chest, share that with you guys. I wanted you to understand what was going on with the channel, some changes that might be happening, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stopping the channel, because there's a lot of, and this is cool, I haven't seen this before, looks like a statue of Mephala. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about a lot of different stuff. The channel's going to be a bit more diverse with the topics that I decide to talk about. But yeah, first things first, I do want to address the other elephant in the room, that I now have 3,000 subscribers that, as far as I can tell, came the fuck out of nowhere. I don't know how this happened. I don't feel like I've earned it, but it means the world to me. It really does. Every single time I go to my channel and I see that the subscriber count has increased, I'm filled with a sense of, like, a mixture of excitement, disbelief, complete incredulity, fear, and anxiety. And a sense of why. I don't mean to diminish what I have and what you guys have given me and what you allow me to do. I want to make that clear. The fact that you guys let me do this, let me do what the fuck I'm doing right now, flying around in a modded version of a 2002 video game for no other reason than to share my thoughts, share my opinions, share my worldview with you guys is, I don't say this often, but a blessing. It's an honest-to-God blessing, and I can't thank you guys enough without sounding like a complete sycophant. But I guess I'm going to sound like a complete sycophant. I love you guys, everything you've given me, and I appreciate it. Is my game about to crash? Is it about to crash? Is this Shadow Play doing this bullshit? Oh, shit. Hold up. Okay, we're good. Okay, yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah, like I said, the game runs a lot slower when I have a lot of programs open. I have, like, Sony Vegas up right now. I'm doing Shadow Play, which isn't supposed to slow down your game, but it does a little bit. I also have, like, 30 tabs open in Google Plus, or Google Chrome, sorry, because I'm a savage and I do that kind of shit, because I'm a terrible person. But, yeah, what was I talking about? I was talking about subscribers and how great you guys are, and I can only say it means the world to me enough times, but it really does. And I'm stunned by it. I'm shocked by it. I just want to keep making you guys proud. I want to keep putting up content that I think somebody wants to see. I want to keep saying things that I hope you guys want to hear. I hope. But yeah, that's all I got to say on that topic. I'm overjoyed at the support you guys have shown, that you let me do this bullshit that I do. But on to future stuff for the channel. I'm going to be talking about some different games. Like I said, a lot of you guys know me as the Elder Scrolls and to a lesser extent the Star Wars guy, but there is another series that I'm really into that I really want to talk about, and surprisingly, that is Hotline Miami, if you guys know about that game. If you don't, the best way I can describe Hotline Miami is, imagine if the guy who made Donnie Darko had a baby with David Lynch, and that baby was an ultra-violent 80s crime drama. Now imagine that 80s ultra-violent crime drama was also a top-down arcade shooter. That's Hotline Miami in a nutshell, and I would very much like to talk about that game. I know that the last game in the series, the second one, has been out for a few years now, but there is still a very large fan base talking about that game in terms of both gameplay and in terms of its very obtuse, bizarre, crazy, depressing, violent storyline. And I have a lot of opinions on it, both good and bad. And yeah, I have a lot to say about Hotline Miami. So if you guys think I've had a lot to say about the Elder Scrolls over the past 2 years, buckle up for some shit. I'm not going to talk about it as much as the Elder Scrolls just because, I mean, there's only 2 games and there's not nearly as much content to chew on. But I am going to get really in-depth with that game because I think it deserves it. For better or worse, I think that game deserves it. Other stuff in the future that we're going to be talking about is Oddworld. I've hinted at this for a while. Every now and then I'll throw in a clip from, say, Abe's Odyssey or some shit like that. Oddworld is a series that I really love for the same reasons why I love Morrowind. It is a very bizarre, strange, alien kind of science fantasy world that blends a completely alien, ridiculous world with very human, relatable problems. And again, that's the kind of shit I like to talk about. So we're going to be talking about Oddworld soon. What else am I going to be talking about? Sorry, beer burps. There is also an MMO that I would very much like to talk about. And if you guys have been following my channel since the beginning, you will know that probably the only reason I initially gained any semblance of YouTube popularity was because of my coverage of EverQuest Next. Now, I have intentionally not talked a lot about upcoming MMOs since the EverQuest Next fiasco. I've talked about World of Warcraft because that game is out, and whether you like it or not, I think most of us agree that that game isn't a scam. Nor did it sell us a bill of goods only to end up being vaporware. Now, I don't want to feed you guys bullshit. I did that to my friends and partially to you guys during EverQuest Next, and it's still something I feel bad about. I described this on my last EverQuest Next video, but I convinced all of my friends to pre-order the game so that, we could get in on the ground floor and, start making creations and stuff like that, because I was convinced this was going to be the next big thing in MMOs, and I'm going to avoid this because those are Daedra worshippers, and they look dangerous and angry. But yeah, Ashes of Creation, I definitely look forward to talking about that, and like I said, for me to really start talking about MMOs in this way again before they're out is a pretty big sign on my general feelings about the game. Now, I'm still very cautious, but I do believe that if all goes well, this could be a real successor to the ideas presented in EverQuest Next. I said this in the last EverQuest Next video I did when the game was cancelled, that I didn't really care so much about the EverQuest IP per se as I did the ideas presented in EverQuest Next, and I was waiting for some other game to take those reins and push those ideas to completion. And if Ashes of Creation is all it's cracked up to be, then it will be capable of doing that. Now, on top of that, one of the main reasons I want to talk to you guys and tell you guys about this game in the near future is because I have actually been able to conduct my first interview, my first official interview with a game developer, and it is with the Ashes of Creation development team. And unfortunately, it's not going to be a video interview. I hope to be able to do those in the future, but I was able to send a series, I believe like about 18 questions actually, to them about the game, about the mechanics, the world building, how different systems will interact with each other. And I look forward to showing all of that to you guys in the near future. It's going to be, the actual interview is going to be posted onto Comicsverse. You guys may know that I work for them. I'm kinda, sorta the unofficial head of the gaming section of that site. And yeah, so the interview will be there. I'll probably make a video telling you guys when it's out, leaving a link to it. But I really look forward to you guys, taking a look at that game with a cautious eye, of course, but taking a look at it and letting me know what you think. So, yeah. Oh, and I almost forgot. For those of you who also know me as the crazy Kanye Quest conspiracy guy, you are in luck because that weird shit is not over yet. If you don't remember, I've been doing a few videos on a game that was popular for a little bit. It was a fan-made game called Kanye Quest 3030. It was an RPG Maker game that was very charming, very silly. It was about, rappers saving the world with the power of their rhymes, all that cool bullshit. But in a video that I was intending to make on, video games secrets, Easter eggs, and myths, I kind of uncovered something really bizarre and crazy within Kanye Quest 3030. And I've been kind of talking about it ever since, and a lot of people, I cannot tell you guys how often I get PMs on Twitter, on Reddit, or comments in my videos asking me, hey, are you still talking about Kanye Quest? Or, oh, I heard something new about Kanye Quest. They're doing something else. Apparently, they're making a new game, the people behind Kanye Quest. So there's definitely more I want to talk about with that. I'm really excited. And just for the record, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist or anything. Like I said in the video, I consider myself a skeptic. I've always been interested in weird, creepy conspiracies and shit like that just for the fun of it. And as I was kind of mulling over in the video, whether this is an actual weird, creepy cult or just some kind of ARG, some alternate reality game that these people are making, I'm definitely am leaning toward the latter, which doesn't make this any less insane considering the amount of work they put into it. But either way, I've just been fascinated with this project. If it is a project, we really don't know. And I look forward to covering this some more. And I'm really happy that you guys like those videos as well, because I love shit like that. Ever since I was a kid, like I said, I never really believed in all the crazy conspiracy theories and creepy paranormal supernatural stuff, but I loved, like, I would go on YouTube as a kid and go to those really weird YouTube channels that had all that, oh, Illuminati, reverse this song and it summons the devil, shit like that. I loved shit like that because I thought it was fun and creepy and it got my creative juices flowing. So I love sharing that stuff with you guys. So look forward to some more of that in the future. And I think that might be it. Obviously, there's more I have planned, but that's all I'm willing to talk about right now. And yeah, so I guess in short, in closing, if you've made it this far, just a quick recap. No longer focusing on the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, or anything Bethesda related. The channel's going to get more diverse. Stay tuned for me talking about other IPs that I like a lot and some older stuff that you guys just keep coming back for. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching me play this game randomly. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing and sharing my videos. And I'm looking forward to 3,000 more subscribers. So without further ado, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, Trip here. If you liked that video, why not watch some more? Hit that like button and make sure to share this video on Reddit and social media. If you want to see more Psycho Trip, check out my Patreon. There you'll find all of my videos, as well as articles I've written for Comicsverse. If you like what you see, think about donating $1 or $2. Or you could always spend that money on another Skyrim port. Fuck, I did it again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.